Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's what Yeah. Well, certainly. Thank you.
This is reserved, so we gotta find us a spot.
No, it's all appreciate what you do. That's a tough one too. Maria doesn't get much as much visibility. I know it's not a tough bit.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and esteemed veterans. It is my honor to welcome you all to the 2024 Veterans Day ceremony here at the Texas Panhandle War Memorial. My name is Carlos Peña. I am a board member at the Texas Panhandle War Memorial, a member of the 2318 of the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, and I have recently been accepted into the Iraq-Afghanistan Veterans of America Cavalry. In this role, I will collaborate with the political leaders in Washington to advocate for meaningful policy changes that benefit veterans. I am privileged to be your master of ceremony for today's event. At this time, I would like a moment to thank some of the generous sponsors that made this event happen. Please be sure to see your program for a complete listing. Billy and Puppy McCarty, in memory of Colonel Herndon and W.A. McCarty Sr., Jerry and Janie Kinsley. With their generosity, none of this would be possible. Thank you all so much for your continued support of our mission here at the War Memorial. Our distinguished guests in attendance, please stand and be recognized when your name is called. Cam Butler, Randall County Commissioner. Blair Schaefer, Potter County Commissioner. Paul Harper, Mayor and Veteran. Thank you. Christy Dyer, Randall County Judge. Thank you for taking the time to come out and support our Veterans Day ceremonies. Veterans Day is a federal holiday held on the anniversary of the end of World War I, November 11th. Its purpose is to honor those who have worn the uniform and served our country. The ceremonies you will witness today are to recognize the servicemen and women who swore the oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that they will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that they will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over them according to the regulation and the Uniform Military Code of Military Justice. Patriotism is defined by the quality of being patriotic, devotion to, vigorous support for one's country. Bravery is the quality of state of having or showing mental or moral strength to face dangers, fear, and difficulty. During my 21 years of service, I witnessed my service members express their patriotism by enlisting and following the orders of our President to defend the interests of the United States in combat. These young Americans, hailing from diverse backgrounds, viewpoints, religious affiliation, ethnicities, came together to form one of the world's most elite fighting forces. Many of you may never witness the bravery of a veteran running across a battlefield to provide aid to a fellow serviceman. You may not experience the stress of bullets flying over your head, or the distinct sound of mortars being launched, followed by the whistle they make as they roar towards your location. You might never know the jarring impact of a grenade exploding on the other side of the wall, which can leave you breathless. Veterans often express strong emotions, sometimes even crying, when they reunite with fellow teammates. This reaction reflects the idea that difficult experiences can forge deep connections. There are no easy moments in war, and veterans from different branches eras, and age groups share a unique bond shaped by the similar experiences. The purpose of Veterans Day is to honor the service, sacrifice, and contributions of all who have served the U.S. military regardless of when or where they served. Here at the Texas Panhandle War Memorial, we dedicate our time and efforts toward our motto: to remember every war, to remember every service member, to remember is to honor. Chris Cooten, retired Chief Chaplain, will give our invocation today. Help me welcome Chaplain Cooten for our invocation.
Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate the opportunity to be with each and every one of you today. And I was thinking in terms of this being Veterans Day, how you and I today, here in 2024, are standing on the shoulders of many veterans that are now gone. They're no longer with us. But those of us that are alive, that are veterans, we salute each other. We thank God for the opportunity to serve these United States of America, one nation under God. If you would, please join me in a word of prayer. Oh God, we bow before you. We acknowledge that you are God. We acknowledge that we are your servants. And Lord, we thank you for the many veterans that are represented here today, all the different branches of service. We thank you for their spouses. We thank you for their parents and their brothers and sisters. We thank you for those that have gone on before us. And Lord, we just acclaim with you that we are one nation under God. And Lord, we want to just thank you and glorify your holy name as we honor veterans this day in this place and all over these United States of America. In Jesus' name we all pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chief Cooten, for those encouraging words. Potoroa High School Air Force JROTC unit, under the direction of Sergeant BTAG, will conduct today's presentation of the colors. All able, please rise.
Color guard, what? Gary, color. Color guard. Halt. Ready. Face. Reason. Go.
Leading us today in the Pledge of Allegiance is Gold Star Father and Texas Panhandle War Memorial Board President, Mr. Bruce Doss.
As all veterans, you can salute. We look at this flag and we see the beautiful flag of our United States of America, and we're very proud of that. So let's just render together allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Please remain standing for the national anthem performed by Ascension Academy Choir of Amarillo.
At the
Academy. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to extend an invitation to Tim Reed, our Education Center Executive Director of the Texas Panhandle War Memorial.
Good morning, and welcome to the Texas Panhandle War Memorial. Once again, I want to thank our sponsors, because without them and their kind and continued support, our ceremonies to honor and remember our veterans would not happen. Thank you to the Randall County Master Gardeners for their care of the Veterans Garden behind us. The red, white, and blue garden stands as a perpetual memorial to the 1,550 combat veterans who lost their lives between World War I and Afghanistan. They're so committed to this garden that when our roses came down with a disease, Rose Rosetta, they were out here pulling roses and making sure that the other roses in the garden hadn't been affected. Their commitment to honoring our veterans every day is phenomenal, and for that I give their thanks. I also want to thank both individuals and businesses who continually support our mission and the needs of the War Memorial. What a great day to be at the Texas Panhandle Memorial. As you sit and listen to the words that are spoken, the ceremonial display of colors, the wreath laying, the songs, remember that we're here to honor the men and women who stepped forward and took the oath to defend us and our Constitution from our enemies, both foreign and domestic. That 1% who ensure our liberties are protected and secured. We were born with these liberties, not just because they are God-given, but because of the sacrifices made by the generations before us and today's present generation. Our duty as fellow citizens is to repay in a small way that debt by honoring and remembering those brave souls who made our freedom possible. This is the whole reason that Texas Panhandle War Memorial and Education Center exists. So for everybody, today is a free day. So enjoy yourself as you tour the grounds and the inside exhibits that we have in our educational center. See the tributes that we have to some of our local heroes. Medal of Honor recipients Thomas Creek, Charles Rowan, and Dwight Birdwell. USS Indianapolis survivor Cletus LeBeau. And our 180 Purple Heart recipients, of which 55 are still with us today, and many of them are here in the audience. Take your time to visit the Education Center inside and test your knowledge of the United States and its wars from the Revolutionary all the way through Afghanistan. So what's going on at the War Memorial? Probably more than you realize. This year we saw many things come to our center. A new permanent exhibit to the women Air Force service pilots of World War II. The inaugural War of the Wagons fundraiser. And a welcoming of homeless heroes, Easy Thoughts Counseling, and VetStar Veteran Services. In addition, we have a veteran-founded nonprofit, Panhandle Orphan Care Network, and they all call the Texas Panhandle War Memorial their home. We look forward to welcoming another veteran service, Create a Vet, to the family this coming year. This is another nonprofit founded by a disabled vet to help disabled vets. Their only need is the monthly finances to turn that reflection center into a center for disabled vets to come and use art therapy to help in finding their peace. We'll also be adding a permanent exhibit to POWs and the POW camps in Hereford and McLean. This exhibit will try to portray why the United States is exceptional. Look at a country and see how they treat their children, their elderly, their prisoners of war, and their veterans. That tells you where their heart is. Once you do that, you will understand why the United States is exceptional. If there are any POWs in the crowd, could you please stand? I was hoping that Dan McKinney would be here, a Korean War vet who became a prisoner of war a week into his service in Korea. But we also are honored by another guest, and I think he's the oldest veteran here. If you would stand, sir, 94-year-old Korean vet. Our prisoners of war and those missing in action are an example to us of courage and sacrifice that are made on our behalf. I'm hoping that the story that we tell through pictures and words in our museum will only be able to touch a little bit of that sacrifice. We're also going to be expanding an exhibit to the USS Indianapolis to honor Cletus LeBeau from Memphis, Texas. He watched his ship, which had been torpedoed by the Japanese sub on its mission back from delivering the components of the nuclear weapons when it was sunk by torpedoes. For 5 days he treaded water in the Pacific, and he watched his shipmates drowning, being eaten by sharks, and killing themselves. So to keep up with what's going on at the War Memorial, just go to our webpage, TexasPanhandleWarMemorial.com, and sign up for our monthly newsletter. In order to do all of this, we rely on your generosity. We don't receive any federal, state, or local funding, and it's only through grants and your giving that the Memorial Center is open. So to make it easy, I've put a donation box out in the back. I put a QR code in our gardens, or you can go online to contribute. Think about becoming a partner in Honor, a monthly loyalty donor program to help us remember and honor and educate. Remember, this is your Texas Panhandle Memorial. To honor, reflect, and enjoy your day. To our veterans, Happy Veterans Day, and thank you for the service that you have given to us and the sacrifices that you have made. And to those veterans' families, thank you for selflessly giving to our nation, your sons and daughters, your husbands and wives. Your sacrifice is graciously appreciated by the Texas Panhandle and the nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim, for that information and being part of the Texas Panhandle War Memorial. Now I have the pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, retired Sergeant Major Billy Ray Garcia. Sergeant Major Garcia is a native of Tulia and graduated high school May 1981. Sergeant Major Garcia entered the Marine Corps Delayed Entry Program on November 29, 1980 from Amarillo, Texas, and shipped to recruit training MCRD, San Diego, California on July 28, 1981. Sergeant Major Garcia retired on September 1st, 2009 after 28 plus years of faithful, honorable service. Sergeant Major Garcia served with 12 separate organizations during his service, which included an unaccompanied tour to Okinawa, Japan from 1986 to 1987. He participated in Operation Wildfire, Operation Exercise Frozen Fury, Operation Forest Light, and 6-month deployment to Okinawa in 2002, which included jungle and survival training. A bilateral training with the Chilean Marines during a joint training exercise at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina in 2002. He deployed to Kuwait and Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom with 3rd Battalion, 2nd Marines in 2003 as a first sergeant, in which he participated in the Battle of Al-Nasiriyah. He was awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal for valor during the battle. He was promoted to first sergeant in 2000 and served with 3rd Battalion, 2nd Marines in Combat Engineer School and promoted to sergeant major in 2004 and served as the Command Sergeant Major for Recruiting Station, Oklahoma City, the Command Sergeant Major for Marine Corps Air Station, Camp Pendleton, California, and then as the Headquarters Battalion Command Sergeant Major, 1st Marine Division, Camp Pendleton, California. After retirement, he returned back to Tulia, where he had the privilege to substitute for the Tulia Independent School District from grades kindergarten to 12 for 4 years and volunteered his time with the high school and helped with the booth box during football games. He worked at Tulia Correction Facility from 2011 to 2012 as the administrative assistant to the warden, Walmart Distribution Center from 2012 to 2016 as HR training manager, and for the South Plains Precision Ag 2016 to 2022 as warehouse manager and service manager. He retired in 2022 to help care for his parents along with his spouse. He received his bachelor's degree in business management in 2011 from Wayland Baptist University. He graduated with honors, summa cum laude. Sergeant Major Garcia's personal awards are as follows: Meritorious Service Medal with 1 Gold Star, Joint Service Commendation Medal, Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal with 2 Gold Stars and a Combat Beam, Joint Service Achievement Medal, Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal with 2 Gold Stars and Combat Action Ribbon. Sergeant Major Garcia is married to Carmen Garcia and has 3 daughters, Felicia Fawn, Brittany Michael, and Marine Cora, and 5 grandchildren. Join me in welcoming Sergeant Major Garcia.
Can everybody hear me? First, I just want to show off and thank the Texas Memorial Panhandle War Memorial for actually inviting me here. It's definitely a privilege and an honor. I also want to thank Carlos because we're both Marines, number 1, so we're Marine brothers. And everybody out there is a Marine. Guess what? We're Marine brothers. Combat vets, got to thank them because I'm a combat vet also, so I appreciate y'all being out here too. As we get started, I'm kind of curious, how many here are not veterans? Raise your hand. Because a lot of the things I want to say is that it actually is more to y'all than it is to the veterans. And then I notice there's a lot of young children out here. I think that is awesome that you would take them out of school to be here because it's important. A lot of times as our community it is today in our woke generation, you don't see that. So I really appreciate seeing these young kids here. They could be the vets in the near future that are actually sitting out here being recognized. Next, Vietnam vets, where you at? Raise your hand, stand up, whatever you can do. They need a special recognition because when they came back, nobody told them thank you. And I know a lot of them, I've talked to some, that they couldn't even tell that they had served in the military. They may not even got the job because if they found out they served. But at the same time, personally, I believe if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the way people get treated today, which is great. They're the ones that are going to make sure that it's never, never going to happen again. So again, thank you. And make sure y'all see them shake their hand. Next group I want to just recognize, and this is more because I have a daughter that also served. She did like 14 years. She was a gunnery sergeant, E7 in the United States Marine Corps. Now think about this, for all these veterans, when you went to boot camp, my daughter, I'm only 5'4", but she's 4'9", 4'10", and she was a drill instructor. Can you imagine her being your drill instructor as like a chihuahua up looking at a Great Dane, right? You probably said, I could just step on her. But you wouldn't, because she's actually a black belt too, so. With that, all the females that ever served, either stand up or raise your hand, because we want to give y'all some credit also. you can see that's a very small percentage. We definitely appreciate y'all doing that. So, now let's talk about service a little bit. I actually watched a TikTok, it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was actually perfect. It was a Army First Sergeant, she was a female, and she was talking about where somebody was thanking her for her service. And if y'all know how First Sergeants, Sergeant Majors, Master Sergeants, they can be pretty blunt sometimes. What do y'all think? Well, this person said, thank you for your service. She goes, I'm not your waiter. She goes, thank them for service. You thank me for the sacrifices that were made. And when I saw the TikTok, it didn't make a lot of sense. Because sacrifices that were made, when you enlisted or commissioned, the sacrifices, not just being in combat, sacrifices being away from your families. And then maybe if you stay a long time, now your families are so far away because they kind of just stuck in certain areas in the world, so now you don't get to see them very much. So those sacrifices don't stop. And then when you get out and you have to deal with the demons that we deal with every day, the injuries that we maybe received, and even if you didn't get an injury, as you get older, you have an injury. I tell you, right? You can hardly walk, your back's hurt. Those are the continuous sacrifices that we deal with every day. And to those veterans out there, thank you, because you never give up. We don't complain. Most of the time they say, you're hurting? No, I'm good. They're not good. They're not going to ask for help. If somebody tells you you're good, they're good, they need help, I'm telling you. Now, that's just how it is. So those veterans, when they tell you I'm good, no, you need to find a way to help them. I want to bring up Amarillo, VA. I mean, to me, they are a great VA here in Amarillo. If you go there, you are privileged to have a VA that takes care of you. And we actually have Dr. Gonzalez, Colonel Gonzalez, here. His leadership, and I have to mention that because I've been going there 15 years and not one complaint. They've always taken care of me. So again, thank you very much for the leadership that you're doing out there. Now for the non-veterans, again, I just want to challenge you. As you see veterans, when they say they're good, dig a little deeper. But we're going to still say we're good. We're going to be laying in our grave. They say, are you okay? You're dead now? No, I'm good. Do we have any family members that actually have service members that are active duty right now serving somewhere? Raise your hand. Even though it's Veterans Day, we still appreciate, because you gave, like we was talking earlier, your sons and daughters are out there. If you got kids in the military, it's not easy. You can't sleep at night. You just don't know. It don't even have to be during war, because the training they do, you always hear the phone. My daughter was in 14 years. That phone call. And it's the first thing you hear, the phone call. Oh no. So again, we appreciate y'all. So now to the veterans for a little bit. I guess I can talk to the veterans, right? So let's kind of think about, take a little second, think about why you joined. And that person, 94 years, it's been what, 75 years maybe since you joined? 74? How long has it been? You probably can't hear me, right? At 94, I wouldn't be able to hear. But think about how long ago was that, and why did you join? And as each generation goes by, it changes of why you join. I could probably say back in World War I, World War II, because obviously went on, you had people 16 years old, 15, 20, lying about their age. That's the kind of patriotism they had. Knowing that they're going into battle, because these are World War I, World War II, and Korean War. As life changes, people join for different reasons. Again, think why you join. Regardless of what you think you join to serve our country and possibly give up your life. And then, as the pamphlet says, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, again, a veteran, you take out somebody that at one time wrote that blank check, right? We'll talk about that a little bit more. Maybe, again, you join for job training, education. I remember, now, anybody here served in Desert Storm? Just a few of y'all. So I was actually in Quantico, Virginia at the time, didn't get to go, but I was watching it. And it was funny because I saw this person's, and I guess they were in the reserves, the National Guard, and I gotta skip some of the cuss words that were in that thing, but they said, 2 days a month and 2 weeks, you know what? These reserve units, we got to appreciate them because they deploy a lot. You know, Amarillo, I know the Amarillo group, how many times y'all deployed? Yeah, he started counting in his hand where Marines, we need grounds too, but where are the grounds at? But you can't even count it. So appreciate the Reserve, National Guard, man, y'all do great things. People think that, they're home. No. They get called just like everybody else. And they do great jobs. Maybe it was your childhood dream. Some of y'all might have been playing, cowboys and Indians. I don't know if I can say that because of the woke nation today, but maybe you're just playing with your BB guns, and you grew up wanting to be a service member, and you achieved that goal when you're older. I used to be a recruiter in '93 to '95 in Clovis, and it's funny. You talk to these freshmen, and they're like, "Yeah, I want to do it," but when they become eligible and they can sign the paperwork, it becomes a whole different ballgame now. So again, think about why. Maybe it's a childhood dream. I always think about these kids playing, I think it's Call of Duty, the video game. It's like when I grew up, we didn't have video games. We played, go bang bang. They're playing these video games thinking it's a game. It is not a game. I know anybody here that's ever been to war, it is not a game. People shoot back at you. People die beside you. And those are another sacrifices of scars and demons that you got to live with the rest of your life. Maybe you got drafted when we're talking about Vietnam, right? Those guys, they didn't volunteer, a lot of them. And they still out there and they did great things. But, and again, I think about them and they come back and how they were treated. They were told to go, and then you get back and then they were like treated bad. That is wrong. Now, why did I join? I can't go through the whole story because we'll be here about 2 hours, and I think Carlos and the board will say, you need to stop talking now. But the main reason I joined is my father. He was 87. He was in between Korean War and Vietnam. Now, he only had one eye when he went in. Today, you wouldn't be able to do that. Goes back, I think about World War I, World War II. You got people lying to get in. The patriotism there back then. But he was able to get in. He served in the Army. So my brother served in the Army. I just didn't really have a choice. Growing up, my dad said, you're going in. He didn't care which branch. He really wanted me to join the Army, but I had to upgrade. Just joking. I had to throw that in there. I know, but I have to still get out of here in one piece, don't I? So. How do y'all know if there's a Marine in the area? Anybody can tell me? They said they didn't wash their hands in the tree. No, that's one. They'll tell you. Marines, man, we will tell you. We're the only. We'll put our sticker in your vehicle. So, but it's just. But that's the main reason I drove for my dad. The second reason, I had a cousin that I can't even tell you that story. That's going to be offline because I got to use cuss words for that one. So we'll just leave it with my father was patriotic. All right. Go Navy. Hey, I like Navy. They're the best Uber you'll ever see. We appreciate it, and they don't even charge us, right? And then they feed us really good too. So where's that guy in the Navy again? Thank you. All right, thank you for that ride. So I'm not here to bash. Good thing is, the other military branches, we can only do that to each other. Again, raise your hand if you're not a veteran. You can't say that. I'm telling you, because we will all get on to you. My brothers can talk to me about me, but not you. Right? So I talked to him about Army Air Force. I know I got an Air Force general there. I better be careful, but he's pretty high up there in rank. I don't feel like doing push-ups right now. I'm getting too old. So back to that saying that's on our flyer. A veteran is someone who at one point in his life wrote a blank check, payable to the United States of America, up to about including my life. What does that really mean? And I heard Carlos also kind of talk about the oath. I look at the oath. That's what really tells us about that statement. And again, the sacrifices that are made. So let's kind of look at this oath. Now, there's two different oaths. And when I started researching it, I was like, man, the officer's oath is better than the enlisted oath. You know that? Because they don't say obey. We have to obey. Officers say, I freely join. Us us as enlisted, they say you have to obey us. I'm sure that's because of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, right? So they can charge us for Article 90. I don't know. But again, it says, I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies. The Constitution, it doesn't say we support, our next door neighbor. It says we support the Constitution of the United States against foreign and domestic, and I bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me. Now for the officers, again, theirs is a little bit different. Theirs it says, it starts the same way, but then it says, without any mental reservations, of purpose, evasion, that I will and faithfully discharge the duties of the office that I am entered. So they're appointed. It's kind of, they're appointed to the office. Us enlisted, we're there. We swear in to make sure that we understand, I guess, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, right? On that oath, I don't know about the other branches, but in the Marine Corps, every time you re-enlist, you have to take the oath again, just to kind of remind you. You didn't join for education. You didn't join for benefits. You joined to defend and protect the Constitution of the United States, and we tell you to go, you go. I actually had a conscientious objector at my last command at Headquarters Battalion. He came in and said, hey, Sergeant Major, I can't do this. I can't, I don't know if I can say this, but he said, I can't kill somebody. And I made a quick statement, are you married? He goes, yes. I said, if I go there and attack your wife, can you kill me? He goes, yes, sir. You can kill somebody. Get out of conscientious objector, get out. You know what I mean? So. But I think he was just trying to find a way to get out of the Marine Corps, but use that. But it just, some of those things that you take in, we take that oath. We take the oath to go. When we say go, we're going to go. And being a veteran, we got combat vets, non-combat vets. I want to tell you, it does not matter. Don't treat them different, because everybody raised that right hand the same way. Every male, female, they had an opportunity, And it's kind of like if football game, you go to practice, 2 weeks practice, and they put you on the bench. I know it's hard, but I guarantee you, every veteran out there, regardless, man, they would, you tell them to go, they'll be the first ones in line. And we appreciate all veterans out there for knowing that you could have had to give up your life for somebody you don't even know. Isn't that crazy? So bottom line, our veterans here raised the right hand during the oath of enlistment, defending the Constitution of the United States, defending freedoms documents that every American intended raising their right hand with the indication of selfless devotion to duty and preservation of the freedoms that every American enjoys. Again, when you see a veteran now, look, this is for the non-veterans, are you going to tell them thank you for your service, or are you going to tell them thank you for serving or your sacrifice? When I worked at the distribution center, I had a manager. He came up. That actually touched my heart. He goes, hey, Billy, was that worth it? I go, what do you mean? Was your sacrifice worth me? That's pretty hard. But when he told me that, he goes, tell me, am I doing okay? And I said, as long as you take care of your guys, he's one of the managers, you take care of your guys, treating them right. Don't complain about working, because I know some people that are not here no more, they gave their own life, that they would trade in a heartbeat your life for theirs. They'd be more glad to work on a holiday. So I used to tell them, as long as you don't complain about working on holidays and everything, then it's worth it. But when you start complaining, then makes us start thinking of veterans, man, was it worth it? You know what I mean? But that did touch my heart when he said that. Was I worth it? At least he definitely had the right perspective of what veterans do. So, let's get to some of this stuff here. One more thing I had to mention. So, my mother's birthday is today, and I just got to say, she's not here, but I got to say happy birthday today, because she has to share her birthday with like 6 or 7 million people every year. My father passed away 4 months ago, and he was a veteran. On Veterans Day, he loved to go to Golden Corral. He made it about himself, and then my mom. So I always say, I always got to give her credit, whatever it's can, because it's her. Anybody else born today on Veterans Day, if you are, we want to make sure you still give your credit. As veterans, we don't mean to take it away, but you know, we did sacrifice, right? So in closing, I want to read a quote from Ronald Reagan. It said, veterans know better than anyone else the price of freedom, for they suffered the scars of war. We can offer them no better tribute than to protect what they have won for us. This is our duty. They have never let America down. We will not let them down. Those are some strong words. We will not let them down. So I want to again thank y'all very much for the opportunity to be here. I usually like to walk around and stuff, but it's kind of confined here, I think, right? So, but may God bless everyone tonight. Again, veterans, thank you for your sacrifice, and may God help us as we get older and help our bodies. And thank the VA for helping us get through it. So.
We want to thank you as a board, as part of the board, as an appreciation for coming out and being our guest. We are presenting you with the Texas Panhandle War Memorial Challenge coin. Thank you, Sergeant Major. All right, please welcome Ascension Academy Choir for singing Land of the Free. Please direct your attention to the wreath there. U.S. veteran Corporal Don Roden and Corporal Robert Herrera are members of Volley for Vets and will lay our memorial wreath today.
so many left to mourn. Well, yesterday God told me to wipe away the tears, that our faith should be the strongest now, so we don't leave room to fear. For as long as we believe in Him, that's how long our flag will stand. For He knows too well the pain we bear. It's like having nails go through your hands. We bleed out to the heavens to show us where to turn. So many people dying, so many left to mourn. Well, yesterday God told me to wipe away the tears, that our faith should be the strongest now, so we don't leave room to fear. For as long as we believe in Him, that's how long our flag will stand. For He knows too well the pain we bear. It's like having nails go through your hands. God bless America, the red, white, and the blue. God bless America, God bless us through and through. God bless America, with love, with peace and grace. One nation under God we
When you hear your branches hymn and see your flag go by, please stand and present arms.
Next, we'll have Amazing Grace performed by Adam Wilcox of the Amarillo Fire Department.
Please face the memorial to offer respect for the playing of the Echo Taps. Played today by Volley for Vets members Sergeant Bresley and Major Pace. Thank you, gentlemen, for volunteering for today's ceremony and joining us in this great organization like Body for Vets. You can take your seat. I want to thank Polidoro Junior ROTC, Panhandle War Bird Flight, Volley for Vets, Chaplain Coot, Valero, Ascension Academy Choir, Mr. Adam Wilcox, and XL Energy, and the Texas Panhandle War Memorial Board members that made it possible to have today's event. If we can give them a round of applause. As we're concluding today's event, I'm going to leave you with a poem from Clive Sanders titled, "Unless You've Been a Soldier." Unless you've been a soldier, you just won't understand the things that we have seen and done in the service of our land. We have trained to live in combat, to cope with awful sights that shouldn't be seen by anyone and keep you awake at nights. We don't discuss the wounds we have to the body or the mind. We just put our hurts behind us and turn our memories to blind. We are proud we served our country and remember those we lost. For the freedom that you have today, they paid the awful cost. Ladies and gentlemen, veterans, for our 2024 Veterans Day ceremony has concluded. Please take time to look around and visit our educational center. Thank you for attending today's event.